So here's a nighttime photo of the Watts that was taken during its brick red appearance in the mid 1980s. And what we have is randomly lit windows in the upper floors, some with curtains, some with pole shades, some all the way open, some partially closed. A lot of this I already addressed in the window dressing portion of this video series. What I would like to focus on now is the ground floor, which has those pinpoints of light. Okay, so this wall panel has the light sconces on the walls. And, and as you can see, they are hollow on the reverse side. So I drilled it out. There we go. I drilled it out. And I put this one, I put an LED in there. So I got this LED hooked up, and then all the wires for the building are being threaded towards the elevator shaft. And then out the base, and then under the layout where it'll connect to a power source. And then a quick test to confirm that it's wired correctly. Okay, back to the postcard. I want to look at the lighting arrangement. And what we have is the 4 columns, and the 4 columns are describing a square as can be seen on the floor, but also as can be seen in the ceiling. And then the middle of the square is these hanging lamps, pendant lamps I think we would call it. And then same thing in the back, you have these 4 columns describing a square, and then there's a lamp in the middle of that. And off to the side, it's not square, it's rectangular. And in the middle of the rectangle you have the hanging lamp, but they also have lamps hanging on the beams here. I don't think I'll do those. I'll probably just do the ones that are all in the squared off areas, the center of each square and rectangle. Okay, so to determine where the lights are going to fit in this model, I drew a grid pattern. This line lines up with these columns. This line lines up with these columns. This line lines up with this column, and this line lines up with the back wall. And then going this way, this line lines up with the columns here, and this line lines up with the columns here. And what that does is gets me a grid pattern. And then what you do is by drawing a line between from one corner to the next, you find the dead center of the square, and that's where the light is going to go. And it also works for rectangles. These rectangles, the light's going to go right there. All right, I got my box of LEDs, and what I was going to do was I was just going to use these SMD, I think these are called, surface mount diodes. I was going to use those, but I was looking at these here. These are what I use for small headlights on my trolley. They kind of they got a little nub on there. They make for really good headlights if you have a small headlight. They kind of roughly resemble these hanging lamps, don't they? I mean, very roughly. It resembles it definitely more than the SMD there, surface mount diode, and definitely more than the standard LED. So it kind of has that basic shape. I mean, just enough for me to decide that's what I'm going to use. Okay, so I measured the distance between the leads and marked that on the board, and then drilled out the holes. And then the leads will just fit into the holes like this. And there we go. All right, does that look like pendant chandeliers? So I got them all in there, and I also got them all wired up. All right, got it hooked up to the battery. Let's see if it works. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. In an attempt to simplify the wiring on this building, I got these standard 3.5 millimeter audio jacks that I will connect to the building, to the wiring of the building. And then I got the corresponding female plugs that will be mounted on the benchwork, and then the building will just plug into the benchwork. This is a 4-pole jack. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 poles there, and then the corresponding 4 wires. One of the wires will be the ground, and then another wire will be for the lighting, which will leave me 2 wires for accessories, which could be something as simple as lights turning on and off. Okay, so to mount this, I got a pack of these little panels, circuit board panels, and what I did with those is I cut them into roughly 1-inch square. It's about all I need. And then take a saw and you can cut through just the copper into the backing, and this will create 4 insulated zones for power distribution. Okay, so here's my interior, and then I soldered the jack to the circuit board. Each color wire goes to a different zone. The bottom zone is the ground, and then zone 1 here will be the positive for the interior lighting. So I soldered the positive leads of the interior lights to zone 1 and the negatives to ground there. And then the jack itself will go through the base and it will plug in underneath the layout. Next, I attach the ceiling to my interior here and soldered the lead for the pendant chandeliers, black and white, to the distribution board there. I got the plug all wired up to the corresponding colors and got the wire soldered on there. And this will go into the layout. This will plug into the power supply underneath the layout. There we go. All right, let's plug it in and see what we got. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Since there's nothing inside the building, we can see through it, which kind of ruins the realism. So I'm going to need to make a view block. I was at one of those dollar stores and they have this poster board, and one of the colors is this metallic gold color. And I thought I'd give this a try to use this as a view block. After cutting the poster board to size, I taped it into a cylinder. And then the edges of the cylinder were pressing against the window, so I needed to make it more the size of the proportions of the building. So I taped I glued these struts in there to give it the shape that I need, and so that fits in the building better. Yeah, like that. While I was in a do-it-yourself store, I came across these lights, LED copper string lights. It's got 50 bulbs, 16 feet. So I thought I'd give these a try for the interior lighting. Okay, then I took the string lights and I wrapped them around evenly yet randomly. And okay, the string lights come with this battery pack. I'm not going to be using it, so it needs to go. All right, so I got that soldered onto the power distribution board there, and this will fit on top like that. Let's plug it in and see what we got. If I can plug, there we go. Oh yeah. And there we go. Look at that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I have achieved the level of detail required to make this building look lived in. And I love how these upper windows have turned out, though I would like to get some detailed room boxes in some of those wide open windows. But in the meantime, I think the level detail is great. It's all well lit. I think I might call this project done. So thanks for watching this epic series. I'm out of here. Bye! Next time? There's gonna be a next time? No, there's no next time. I'm done with this. Well, for now. I mean, there are some upgrades I want to make, so I suppose there could be a follow-up video with those. For one thing, I would like to straighten out those chains on this canopy here, and then probably paint the edges of it that nice ochre yellow color. Also, I'm having a problem with when I slide the interior into the building, it's catching on the Austrian puff draperies there, pulling them up and making it kind of unsightly, so I need to come up with a solution there. And of course, I would like to get details in the upper floors here, get some life in the windows, much like on the bottom floor there. That'll make a big difference to this building. And finally, I would like to populate these sidewalks outside of the building and get some life happening there too. For now, I'm really happy with how this building is looking, so I think I'm just going to take a few minutes to just enjoy it. Would you like to join me?